and welcome to Beyond the Front Porch.
Because where we live is just the beginning.
Yep. So today's episode, we're going to talk about like the top 5 things, repairs, updates you can do on your home that actually bring you value.
And those that don't.
Yeah, top 5 that don't. But stay tuned at the end. We're going to give you a bonus, a bonus one that's actually kind of looked over. So stick with us and we'll tell you all about it. So the first thing we wanted to talk about was it's kind of a basic, I think it's kind of a given, but really painting your home is a really easy way, depending on how high your ceilings are, to give your home an update.
Yep. And that's not just, new colors. That's touching up, and that's touching up everything.
Yeah.
Even the baseboards, the doors, the exterior, interior, everything.
Yeah. It's something that I think people don't really consciously pay attention to, but when you walk into a home and the walls are all scuffed up and the baseboards are dirty and stuff like that, it's not something that you're like, oh, look at all those scuffs. You're just like, this house kind of feels a little dirty,
Yeah, it feels lived in.
Yeah.
I've been in homes where you walk in and everything looks fine, but you open one of the kitchen drawers and they'd already moved out. So there's not really, we don't expect you to do this, but they moved out and the interior of the drawers was just totally shot. Like there was food in there was scuffs in there and everything. And my buyer was just like, nope. Yeah. Not doing it. And, it's those subconscious things that happen. So,
yeah. And if you do have higher ceilings, it can be a little bit more of a undertaking, but I think in the end, it really is worth it.
Yeah. So how much value do you think doing all that painting will bring you?
It depends on the house. If you have
the price point.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a big house like mine with tall ceilings and stuff like that, I would hire somebody to come and do that. Yeah. I don't have the equipment to get up on 20-foot ceilings to paint and stuff like that. So that could be, maybe like $1,000 to have those big rooms painted. But I think in the long run, you do get more than that out of it.
Oh yeah.
I think painting's cheap.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, painting is cheap.
Yeah. Even if you have to paint a whole house. I mean, just recently we put a listing on the market in a really pretty house, and they had their ceilings. They really liked the dark look. So they had their ceilings painted like a chocolate brown, and it made it feel a little bit more roomy, but also, it's not very traditional. So I said, just paint the ceilings, and they sold over list price in this market. So, so I think it can bring anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000, as much as that. And you're spending $1,000, maybe even $3,000 or $4,000 is worth that if you have to really get a professional out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And having it well done counts too, because, if you want to do it yourself, that's great. But if you can't get straight lines, then that can really make a difference. So, and if it's like splotchy and all that kind of stuff, that can really make a difference too, because then somebody's going to walk in and be like, I'm going to have to redo this. So yeah,
we've seen that.
Yeah. So the next thing on our list as something that brings value is kitchens and bathrooms, but not your whole kitchen and bathroom. So we kind of agree that doing a full kitchen remodel or full bathroom remodel doesn't bring you as much value. As just doing things like painting the cabinets or doing the countertops and the type of countertops you have really does matter.
And doing the lighting, so like the under cabinet lighting is very inexpensive to do, but looks really good. And if you have those awkward shelves up top, getting some lighting up there also looks good as well. And matching appliances. Yeah. So that's a weird one because appliances don't have to be expensive. So you would think a buyer could just say, oh, well, I'll just get it. If it bothers me, I'll get a stainless steel fridge to match the stove versus white. But I mean, I've seen buyers really not like the unmatching, like almost a deal breaker.
Yeah. I've seen buyers that really want like even the brand to be the same, not even just like they need to be all white or they need to be all stainless or whatever. Like they want all KitchenAid. So that can be something that's, again, an easy upgrade and that really adds appeal to your home.
Yeah. And I think one of the best places to go for a lot of these items are surplus stores.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, a builder or construction company will have extra of things, and they're doing a bigger home, and so they have enough material to just do the sections that you need done. So, like for instance, countertops. So we saw in the 90s and 2000s that everyone wanted granite, and everyone was willing to pay extra for granite. Like, how do you feel? What have you been seeing with countertops?
Oh, it's totally quartz now.
Yeah.
Like everybody loves quartz. And quartz back then was like that's the ugly stepchild of granite.
It didn't really look good back then, though. They were doing something weird to it.
They've come a long way with quartz, and there's some really pretty quartz that they do now. And I think there's more variety with quartz. Where granite, there's only so many different kinds of granite you can get. So with quartz, it gives you a lot more to work with and a lot more to play with, and it can be really, really pretty. I actually do prefer it myself.
I helped somebody buy a house, and the kitchen had been remodeled, I think, like a few years ago. This was back, so it was probably remodeled in like 2010. They were buying the house in like 2014, and they had done it in like the brown granite, and then brown backsplash and flooring and everything. And my buyers were like, "We're gonna have to redo the whole thing," and I was like, we're not telling the age of this.
Right.
But they did the really pretty quartz and everything as well. And again, you can find that in surplus stores. Or even they do make granite that looks kind of like the quartz as well nowadays too. But I would stay away from marble. It's just so expensive unless you find a really good deal on it. But even then, it's a lot harder upkeep than quartz.
Yeah.
And then also the Corian counters are pretty much on the out.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if we walk in and if it's granite, we're not going to tell you to replace it to quartz. But be prepared to offer a concession if it comes up, especially if it's one of the more dated granites. If it's laminate, it's almost like, okay, go find a good deal on something. But if you can't, we can offer a concession.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it depends on the area and stuff too. So if you're in an area where most of the homes have some kind of laminate countertops, that may not be something you have to do. But if you could do it, it's going to set your home apart, and it's a lower cost upgrade that can really get you a higher price point for your home, and make you stand out against your competition, which I think is the kind of the goal when we're talking about this kind of thing.
Yeah, just please don't paint your countertops.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't do that.
We've all seen it, and it just starts coming off, and it just looks pretty tacky.
Yeah.
Like, it looks cool in the real estate pictures, but once you get in the house, you're like,
oh yeah.
And unless it's professionally done, don't do the stick-on backsplash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen that. We were at an inspection, and it's literally coming off the walls, and that was a huge turnoff for the buyer, because they were like, we're going to have to rip all this out and put on new backsplash,
Actual tile.
Right? Yeah. So just don't do that.
Yeah. So the next thing is the landscaping. So what people see when they first walk into your home really kind of sets the tone. So I'm like, even if we don't have a ton to work with, just doing the mulch in the flower beds, putting fresh mulch and getting the weeds out, and then doing some kind of pop of color. I have a listing right now that has even fake flowers. Like, we put in fake flowers in the flower pots, and it looks really cute. And you don't really notice it until you're really like looking at the home. And a flower pot is something that's not going to stay. So, it's kind of perfect. And she doesn't have to worry about watering them. She doesn't have to worry about them dying or wilting or losing all the flowers. So, like, even something like that can make a huge difference in your pictures and when people are first walking in on the home.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would think that, if you're living in your home, because this isn't just about staging and getting your home ready as well. It's like, what can you do while you're living in your home? And so, like, plant a tree. The best time to plant a tree, it's kind of like buying a house, is either today or 20 years ago is the best time to plant a tree. So, but studies have shown having a tree in your yard, front or back, can add $10,000 to $20,000, and it doesn't cost that much to get a tree.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you're moving into a home or you're living in a home, go ahead and plant that tree. and go ahead and do the make sure there's grass in the backyard and the front yard, and that's why just general maintenance is also good. But think ahead of like, because you're not going to stay in your home forever. Very few of us are. So it's like, start thinking ahead a little bit. When you're buying the home, it's like, okay, because landscaping is easy to do that with, where it's like, okay, what can I do right now? Because in 5 to 10 years, I'm going to sell my home, and that tree will be that I paid, $40 for at the nursery will be, 8 times that size and be adding value.
And Denton actually does a free tree giveaway once a year. So you can go onto the Denton City website, and I can't remember. I think they did it just recently. I think it's like October that they usually do the tree giveaway.
I've gotten a few for free.
And you just sign up and you drive through, and they put it in your car, and it's a decent sized tree. Yeah. I've done it twice, not here because we have tons of trees at this house, but for previous homes I've done it before, and it's a free tree. I mean, you might as well. And that like you said, you get the tree for free, and then it adds $10,000 to your value.
And you don't always get to pick the tree, but like I got a Shumard oak one year, and then I got a redbud one year. They usually have like 5 or 6 tree types to choose from, and if you get in early enough, you get to pick which one you want. But then towards the end, it's just what they have available. Exactly.
So next, kind of going along with that, is to add in a outdoor living area, and it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need to put in a bricked in grill with the one listing has got a $7,000 professional vent hood over his grill. You don't have to do quite that. But, a pergola for a few $100s, if you don't have any kind of poured concrete in the back, I think that just by itself adds a lot of value.
So like, for instance, we have a listing now that has a really nice patio with a cedar on the back of it. It cost him, I think, $12,000 or $13,000 to do that. It's got the stamped concrete and everything, and it's got slats on the side. It's really nice. And it adds about $20,000 in value. So, after, it didn't always used to be the case, but like after COVID, everybody wanted to spend more time outside, and that's just kind of stuck with us. And so, spending a little bit of money and doing that, make the home to what you enjoy, but also know, hey, if I add on this outdoor living space, then it's going to add value to my home when I go to sell it, and you get to enjoy it. So putting thoughts like that out into your home is really, really good. And like fire pits are really popular. Sheds in the back that aren't just for storage, but for like office or something. I don't know that you may not get back what you put into it, but if that's something you want to do, it does add value to your home. So.
There's been quite a few homes that I've shown where they had a really amazing backyard. And that's always like, we walk out and everybody's like, ooh, look at this,
And it really helps market too, because, when we take a picture of the backyard, people comment about it all the time.
People like
we like to highlight those.
And so next, our 5th thing is flooring, which I feel like is almost kind of a given because everybody wants like nice, fresh flooring. So, and it's not necessarily something that you have to do, but like if you've had the same carpet in your house since you moved in and it's been 10 years, like it's probably time to change the carpet.
Carpet is out. And I would say especially in living areas, that's where I would prioritize. If you've got carpet in your bedroom, some people still do like carpet in the bedrooms. And as long as it's clean and, can be shampooed nicely, that is usually okay. But carpet in the living areas and everything, just gets messy, dog hair, and I don't know, carpet's kind of gross. Moving in on someone else's carpet.
So, and I think you can't, because carpet's going to be less expensive than replacing with some kind of hardwood floor or LVP, luxury vinyl plank. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you the most bang for your buck, change a carpet in the bedrooms and with new carpet, and not doing like the most expensive carpet. Like, don't do the cheapest carpet, but don't do the most expensive carpet either. Kind of go middle of the road so it looks nice, Maybe a little bit of a thicker pad. People seem like when you walk on a carpet and it's super squishy, people are like, ooh.
And that costs what? Like it's like a little over $1 a square foot or so. So like a 10 by 12 foot room is be like $120 to $200 to do.
Yeah.
So that's pretty reasonable, especially if you're going to be getting that money back out when you go to sell.
Yeah. And LVP can be close to that too for the remainder of the house if you need to replace it in other spaces. But yeah, I mean, almost everybody that I've shown lately, if there's carpet in a living room,
it's just we can walk in, walk out. Even if it's new carpet. So and I've seen flippers put carpet in and it's just walk in, walk out. And a lot of people just want hard floors throughout their whole house as well.
I mean, that is a selling point. There's a lot of people where we walk in and it's got hard floors and then they're just like, oh, that's really nice. Like we really want that kind of thing. So
so when it comes to flooring, what I would say is don't go for the highest price, don't go for the lowest price. The lowest price, you can tell when you walk in a house and the person put just the cheapest stuff that they could find. Again, these surplus stores come in handy here. But find like a middle of the road, even the low middle of the road luxury vinyl plank or vinyl flooring looks nice. And as far as color goes, gray's always been popular, but the browns are coming back in as well.
And lighter colors, I feel like, are very popular right now. And like it used to be like everybody wanted hardwood, or they wanted wood floors,
and that's expensive.
And now I actually have several people that are like, no, I want LVP because it's more durable. It can be waterproof. Like you can get some really nice LVP.
You don't have to refinish it.
So I'm finding more and more that people are actually preferring that over hardwoods.
Yes. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about is kind of our bonus thing. So when you're getting ready to sell your home, staging. So, and staging is just kind of making sure everything is optimally placed and optimally organized for a buyer to come in and look.
I mean, there's things that we tell everybody, like take out all of your personal pictures, make sure everything looks neutral. You want it to look like HGTV. You want somebody to walk in like it's an Airbnb and they can just stay there. They don't want to see you in the home.
So take your toothbrushes off the counter.
Put everything underneath.
and a good rule of thumb that we use is that anything you use every day in your kitchen or your bathrooms, anything you use every day can stay out. But anything that you don't use every day, like you don't use your toaster oven every day, or very few people do. So just put it away. And that helps keep it all clean and streamlined. But also people understand like, oh, that's where I put my coffee maker. That kind of a thing. Oh, that's where I put my paper towels.
And the expense can come in because there's a lot of that you can do yourself by just putting your toothbrush away. But the expense comes in hiring a professional to help you do that. And we're going to do a video that goes more into detail on this one at a future date. But a professional stager can come in and they can do something as simple as going through and just making you a list of the things that they see that you need to do, like, move your couch here or take that, lamp and put it there and all that kind of stuff. They can give you a list, you can do it, and then they can come back in afterwards and kind of like polish it up and make sure everything is really working together. And that, can be just a few $100s or less.
So we pay for that initial consultation for a stager to come in and give you that checklist. And we had a listing a few years back. It was the height of the market when it was really crazy. But I got them through. They had 19-page checklists. Each room had a checklist plus the outside and this and that and that and this. And they did, I think, probably 90 to 95%. There's like 2 or 3 things on there they didn't do. And we put their home on the market and we listed at $475,000. This was in Highland Village. And we got an offer. It was multiple offers. We got an offer for $575,000. So how much time? They were stressed. They were like, but we're going to do everything she says. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And they did it. And we got them $100,000 more. The appraisal didn't come in, but you know what? The buyer wanted the house so badly, they paid the difference. And that's when it was crazy. But staging really does matter. I think
it does.
I think the studies show like professional staging can get you up to 20% more
And I think that the amount that you pay the stager, like that is one of the things that is the most return on investment that you can do when you're selling your home.
It's a great
having
value.
it staged. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So let's go switch our gears now to the things that you shouldn't do.
Yes.
And that goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier with the kitchens and baths. Like, don't do a full remodel of your kitchen or your bathroom.
Don't do a full gut job. Don't do like fancy stuff in your kitchen and bathroom right before selling. Some people are like, oh, we need to remodel our kitchen before we sell. It's like, no, have us over there. We can give you some tips, like in that first section of kind of like, hey, if you paint, or hey, if you put some knobs on this, or something like that. Because,
little things, because you'll get a good return on that. But if you do the whole thing,
you spend $30,000-$40,000 on a kitchen remodel,
you're probably not going to get that back. So if you're thinking about buying or selling your house in the next 10 years, do it now.
Yes, and enjoy it.
And then, you know, when you sell, it'll be a huge thing that attracts people to your home and stuff.
Yes.
But don't do it right before you sell. It's just, you're not going to get the money back that you put into it, more than likely.
So adding a pool in, that's another one where it's like, okay, if you really want a pool, it's always better to buy a home that has a pool, even if it needs repairs and fixing, because it's a lot cheaper than putting in a pool. Now, if you want something custom, that's something a little bit different.
But don't add a pool to add value to your home. It does add value, but pools are so expensive, especially right now, that like most pools are only going to add about $15,000 to $20,000 to the value of your home over a house that doesn't have a pool. And there's no way you're going to install a pool these days for $20,000. It's going to be more like $100,000.
Unless it's an above ground pool, but
the little what are they? The water troughs. Water troughs. I've seen those be really cute.
Yeah, I sold a house that had one, and the seller was going to get rid of it, and just never got around to it. And the people that bought it loved it. Yeah. It was really funny because the seller was like, "I didn't even think that they wanted that." But yeah, putting in a pool is very expensive, and so if you're going to be in a home for, I'd say under 10 years, it's better to just buy a home with a pool. Another thing with a pool is that there are people that are looking for a pool and they're willing to pay more for a pool. But there are also people out there that do not want a pool at all. And so, so it's one of those things that if you have you don't know when we put the house on the market that has a pool, it's like, oh, I hope there are those pool people out there looking that are really wanting a house, because you'll get a lot less showings on a house with a pool, even though you can sell it for a little bit more.
Yeah. So, and you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to have a pool. And that's why I don't want one, is because like, I feel like, yes, it would be nice, and we love swimming and stuff like that, but we're not going to use it as much as we're going to have to clean it. So I'd much rather live in an HOA that has a pool that I can go and visit, somebody else takes care of, and and then I don't have to worry about it. So there's that. And then another thing, and this is one that really kind of gets under my skin, but I feel like adding solar panels, it's a great idea, but the solar panel companies, I feel like can be very predatory. And the deals that I've seen that they propose to people is just, it's such a scam. Some of these, I mean, there are good, legit solar panel companies out there.
So if you're thinking about adding solar panels, call us, please, because we've seen some really crazy stuff. There was a house on the market, and they needed $30,000 to pay off their solar panels, and they could not budge on the price because they had bought their home, unexpected move, and they could not budge on the price. And I looked at those solar panels. I was like, there's no way those cost $30,000. And that's just what they owed. They paid more than that, I'm sure. But it's just like that. I just got a quote for solar panels on my personal home. It was $17,000, $18,000 for a bigger space. And so I was just so dumbfounded that they had paid that much.
Yeah. And then I've run into situations where, you know, they had this huge amount that they owed. And then on top of that, the solar panel company has in their contract, and they don't disclose this kind of stuff, where the home had to be a primary residence. So then that cut out everybody who wanted to buy it as maybe like an investment property and put renters in it. Most of the time, especially if it's financed, you have to go through a second approval process that's just like your lender.
And it could throw off your lender because your lender for your mortgage has to take that payment into account if you're taking over that loan.
Yeah. And so then I've had people who loved the house, loved that it had solar panels, but couldn't buy it because they were too close on their loan. And that payment every month for the solar panels put them over. And so they couldn't buy the house.
Yeah.
So it really kind of changes where you're at on the market.
Yeah.
And it actually, in my mind, I think is something that's detrimental to the sale of your home. Whereas a lot of people think that it adds this huge value because it's solar.
Zillow says 13%.
No. No, I'm sorry.
That's if they're completely paid off.
If they're paid off, it can be great.
But then also we're running into a lot of insurance issues, and the insurance companies do not like that you're drilling holes in your roof.
Yes.
So that's another thing. And like we have a listing that's getting their roof replaced. They have solar panels. It's costing, I think, $5,000 or $6,000 for them to take the panels down, replace the roof, and then just to uninstall and reinstall the solar panels is $6,000.
$6,000.
Yeah. So
crazy.
It's things like that you really want to do your research on. We decided not to put solar panels on our roof just because we're probably not going to be on our home that long, and our roof, it's just a cheap builder grade roof, and we don't really want to. Maybe when we get the roof replaced, but that's if we were living there for a while, because it can help, but also it doesn't zero out your bill. Like the whole, I'm going to sell my electricity back to the city or back to the electric company. They've really cut down on that, where it's really not as much of a benefit as it used to be. So do the research. Yeah,
do the research. All right, and then the next one, as far as a con or a something that's not really going to add value to your home.
Don't do it to add value.
Yeah, is doing kind of major maintenance on your home. Yeah. So replacing your roof. Yeah. That is something that is maintenance. And like if your roof needs to be replaced and you have a brand new roof, that may be something that somebody's like, oh, that's nice, but it's not going to make them pay more for your house.
Right. Same thing with replacing windows. That's something that you can argue all day long, like, oh, it adds value. But you can't look at a house that's exactly the same, other than the windows have been replaced in this one, that someone paid more for it. That's not something that an appraiser, like a lender appraiser, will look at and add value to it. But what it does is it adds marketability. So you'll have more buyers will be interested in your home, which they could be willing to pay more, but we don't have the unequivocal evidence that shows that. So
more than likely, they're going to want to pay less for the house that doesn't have it.
Exactly. Right.
So, and it doesn't kind of equate the other way around. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And so like we can, if you've replaced your windows while you've been living there, we can market that, and that'll open up the buyer pool a little bit more. Because there have been some buyers who walk in, they love the house, but they're like, oh, windows, we'll need to replace them. We're not buying this house. That's, so much money. Versus it'll be easier to sell. Yeah. And so that's kind of goes with like your air conditioner and your water heater. Because, those are things that a buyer expects to be in working condition. So if your water heater is kind of older, we don't necessarily recommend for you to replace it if it's functioning properly. We offer to buy a home warranty for the buyer. And that's, $600 versus like $2,000 to replace your water heater. So that's the way that we can save you money as well, is helping negotiate that into the terms.
Yeah. But if you spend $8,000 for a new air conditioner, you're not going to get $8,000 more than the house that doesn't have a brand new air conditioner.
Right. Yeah.
You're just going to have people that are looking at your house going, oh, between these two that are priced the same, this one has a new AC, but I like the layout on this one better, and the AC still works even though it's old. So I'm going to go with this other one.
Get a home warranty.
Yeah, and we'll just get a home warranty. So like it's not something that is going to get you more money when you sell. Yeah. So
okay, so I hope this added some value and kind of demystified the process, because this is always something you see conflicting things online about, and there's a lot of anecdotes. But we both helped people sell a lot of homes, help people buy a lot of homes, and these are just the things that we've seen over the last 10, 15 years that we've been doing this. So we wanted to share some of it with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. From experience and actual real life things. rather than just, statistics, I guess.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
So yeah, we'd love to talk with you about selling your home. And, we always recommend 6 months to a year before you're ready to sell. Call us and we'll come out and kind of tell you like, okay, this is worth it to do. This is not worth it to do. So when you're just thinking about selling, it's good to have one of us come by.
Yep. And that's all part of the consultation that we do, along with like staging and all that other kind of stuff. So.
Yep.
Great. Well, it was good being here today, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by.